So earlier we reiterated that yields actually were up early today in Asia. They tested 1.6. Alright, so we expect there is an opportunity now to buy into United States dollar against the yen because of the current inflation situation. We were looking at this chart yesterday. We were expecting a top out in the market at 1.1445, and this market actually did top out at 1.1429. Alright, so we could of course do projections for the current correction. We are waiting for that current correction, but we will not naturally do buys except next week. Our best entry levels, we're seeing an inverted head and shoulders inside or at the upper top boundaries of this wedge. This is really what you're seeing. We want to check the 4-hour chart and the 1-hour charts for momentum pictures. Okay, so we could go deep into the wedge. We would want to buy 113.4, 113.55, even 113.3. We're just doing inverted shoulders, and then we're going to be moving higher to 115 and 116. We have 115.67 and 116 in this current month of November, 115, then 115.67 and 116.33. So as of next week, if we get to see end of this week 113.3 in particular, we buy that because this is the top of level 1. Top of level 1 comes here. There's a neckline here, you can see this, and the top of that level 1, the spikes here is at 1.1330. You can leave a limit entry there, long, at least half of our size. If we get to see these shoulders, we buy. Most probably by next week, the best entries we're going to be seeing are going to be really a test of this upper boundary of that wedge. So we're looking at right now 113.8 and 113.5 and 113.45. We will not go unless we will not enter the market, that is, unless we have a confirmation. Okay, confirmation of course would mean that we either see a cycle extreme on the 15 minutes or come to a projection of this current correction. We're seeing now heads and shoulders, and we have an Elliott structure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so where does that leave us? It leads to the fact that this is most probably an ABC formation. We're seeing heads. I see one head, and then we're having shoulders to the left. We're going to be having shoulders to the right. So naturally, we'll let the market rise to do the right shoulder, 114.7, 114.3. Before we begin to engage into the final leg down. We're looking at top of any of these internal cycles. So the cycle here is 113.5. We can also get in at 113.35. So that will be next week naturally. We would also monitor, we don't have a confirmation actually of breakout on the 1 hour, but what we would expect or what we're looking to see is we want this to develop into an internal 1-2. We need a bounce above the 0 level, and then we'll break above overbought. If this bounce comes in at that level, 113.5, 113.35, excellent, we hold our long at that level. At that point we'll have entered at 113.35. If we get a bounce on 1 hour momentum at that level, excellent, and we know that this is an internal 1-2 signal, and there's been 1, 2, 3, 4, and the market is going up to the 116 levels that we hope to see. If there's no bounce, we can go out simply on a retraction higher, or add, we would still be inside of that wedge. If you wish, you could go long at 113.5 or 113.35 at half size, and add of course lower at the lower boundary of this wedge. Lower boundary of that wedge is gonna give us another head, 112.7, 112.75, this level here. You're saying of course 4C should have finished, but it is possible this is an X and we're going to be doing another ABC in a lower head. So we can, if you're buying at this neckline 113.35 and 113.25, we add below the neckline at this level and go out on a bounce back above the neckline or at that point our average would be, of course, at a decline. On the 4-hour charts, we can see we may and may not be having a degree 2, an internal degree 1-2 trigger. We keep seeing, of course, these triggers, but we have to be on the lookout. We are a bit optimistic that we will see one, but it's not really confirmed. There's of course a 1 and a 2 here and a 3, but that 3 has to bounce at 0 in order for all of this to be high degree 1-2 and for this actually trigger to work out.